Really excited today to tell you about the building behind me, which dates back to the late 1800s, and what happens when you get food, wine, and hospitality coming together. Wait till you see Blue Rock Vineyard. Today we are sitting in a virtual format outside perhaps one of the most spectacular settings we've seen in quite some time. And with us today, and we're honored to be here, is Kenny from Blue Rock Vineyards here in Alexander Valley. So Kenny, thank you so much for your hospitality today.
What a pleasure to be with you.
As Cellar Angels fans know and members know, it's our job as storytellers to find and uncover the greatest assets of wine in the valley that they would not have access to unless they know someone very, very special. So when we were introduced to you over a year ago, and it's taken some time for us to basically come where we are today, I'm thrilled to be able to share your story with our listeners, our members, our users, because it's an inspiring story. It's a story that is really, in my opinion, the American story. And what I would like you to do is, I know you bought the property in 1987. What I don't know is what you were doing before then. How did you decide to come out to California? Walk us through that journey a little bit.
So I grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, and was part of a farming family. So my family farmed back from the 1930s. We had a plantation in Mississippi called Maryland Plantation. And so growing up in Memphis in the 1960s, the 1970s, we knew absolutely nothing about fine wine or about fine food. I mean, for us, fine food was and still is barbecue. Memphis is barbecue, barbecue, barbecue. But I didn't even know what a pot sticker was until I was 25 years old. We didn't have a Chinese restaurant. That's how provincial it was. So my introduction to wine was with a wine called MD 2020. I don't know if any of you remember that, but it was not very good.
Unfortunately, I do. Yeah.
It was not very good. I had the great fortune of living next door to a lawyer, a guy named Milton Pick, who was a lawyer in his 70s. And Milton Pick, as we called him, he adopted me as his son. And he had been collecting first growth Bordeaux and Burgundy from the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. And like all of us who now love wine, right? That's why we're here today, is that when you have a great bottle of wine, you do want to share it with somebody. And I'd go over to Pick's house. He'd say, Kenny, you come over to my house. I'm going to teach you about wine. And I'd go over to his house and he'd have his big smile on his face and he'd pour me a bottle. He says, I want you to try this, Kenny. 1955 Margaux, what do you think? And my wife and I looked at each other, and we were newlyweds. We did not have children. We didn't have a big mortgage. We were both professionals. My wife in medicine, I was in investments, but we were just starting our career. So it's that you have these moments in your life where you can pursue your dreams. And then there are times when you're really tied down because of family or finances or whatever, where at least for a while you can't.
Right.
So this was our time where we could do what we wanted to do. And we looked at each other over that bottle of BV George de la Tour. And we looked at each other and we said, let's go to California. I mean, this is really my dream, was to be in the wine and food business, not just wine, but I didn't quite know what part of it I wanted to do, but I wanted my life to be wine and food. We're really trying to make wines that are harmonious and belong on the table. It's our mantra, if you will, is wine, food, hospitality. We're not just a winery. It's all three of those things that are important to us.
And we've said this for years at Cellar Angels, wine brings people together and it actually forces you to slow down. But I also like what your focus is at the winery, and it's a sustainability element. And I would love for you to tell me a little bit about where that came from and what sustainability means to you, because it's just not your token label.
The sustainability really came much more so from when we moved to California. There's a greater sensitivity because we spend a lot more time outdoors. There is just a beauty in the Bay Area that everyone who visits here it doesn't take much to just look around and really get the beauty and want to preserve that and to make it as pristine as possible. Farming here, and I have to say that when in Mississippi, we always wish that we could move that farm 3,000 miles west and be out here. Here, it's like, we live here. We, in addition to growing grapes here, we grow a lot of our own vegetables, which we use at the vintner's table. We use it at my table. Our employees are the recipients of a lot of the fruits and vegetables that we grow. So we're really in the environment, and we're really sensitive to wanting that to be clean.
Well, let's talk about the wine and walk us through the portfolio and kind of what resonates and why you produce what you produce.
On the estate wines that we're making is that we're total production right now is under 15,000 cases. We make up to 13 different wines, but most of them, very, very small production. We have a second vineyard that we're just super excited about in the new Petaluma Gap AVA. We call it Gapstone. And so we're making it, so it's a cool area. It's next door to Gap's Crown and also San Giacomo on the other side of the road from us. So super neighborhood, gorgeous soils. We got to plant it from the beginning, so everything done right. That's Pinot, Chardonnay, Viognier, Sauvignon Blanc, a real aromatic clone of Sauvignon Blanc, and Semillon. So we have small amounts of wine coming that are just 100 cases and less that we produce, making maybe 13 total. But the different wines that we make and the amount that we make really varies because we want to be consistent with the estate wines, is to never produce something that we're not really proud of. And so I consider us brand building forever. And when you're building a brand, it's about always not just achieving, but exceeding expectations.
I literally cannot wait to start sending people there. And the place is magical, the wine is magical. And I think what really is so wonderful is the people are magical. And as we always say, wine brings people together. And I'd be remiss without thanking you and the team for your hospitality today, because the whole Blue Rock story is just spectacular. So thank you very much for sharing everything with us.
Thank you, guys. And come and see us. We'd love to have you, meet you in person, okay?
Soon. Cheers. Really special time today with Kenny at Blue Rock Vineyard. Sustainability, hospitality, food, wine, 130-year-old olive trees. Do yourselves a favor, get some of this wine. Thank you so much for all your support. Cheers.